man, do I really need to shell out $100 or $200 to use the best model, or am I gonna wait for Google? But yeah, as I said, it's just these examples of people using, in this case, very old hardware, PlayStation 1. And this guy, apparently he made like a basic game engine on a CD that he puts into his PlayStation and is then able to make some very basic games, like the Pico 8 version of Celeste. Very old hardware, totally closed off, very difficult to do anything with it until now. This is another world model. To my knowledge, the first one that runs on hardware that's kind of available to consumers. Oh, sorry, it's not a world model. It's a world generation tool using diffusion. So it generates these infinite sort of Minecrafty worlds, but it's all hallucinated. There's no terrain generation algorithm in the classical sense here. That is the thing that generates the world. I think this guy does have a GitHub if you want to follow it. Runs on an RTX 3090, which is pretty impressive. Even just the view, the draw distance. Okay, so big story of these 2 weeks is probably Fable's back after the ban from the US. The new OpenAI model did get held back for a while. They had it ready, couldn't release it, needed the government's okay. So this is like the politics side of everything is currently pretty interesting.
I want to hear your thoughts.
I think I trust neither the government nor big corporations to have this much power over things that potentially influence every single person. I also don't really competition between nations. I think that's a dumb idea. We should all be working together. So yeah, I'm not happy about this stuff. I think something this useful should be in the hands of as many people as possible, because you can't select a few people who everyone will trust. Of course, yeah, it's dangerous, but that makes the question only more pressing. Would be a small group of people that we want to give this to. If it's dangerous, we need to give it to everyone. It's kind of my take. Personally, and as a creator, it's of course pretty painful to see the best model being first taken away and now being like probably cost prohibitive. So that's a big thing right now for me personally, where I'm thinking, man, do I really need to shell out $100 or $200 to use the best model, or am I going to wait for Google to bring out their next thing?
I actually agree with that, because I was actually using ChatGPT the other day, and I've never seen this before. All of a sudden, I see that it gave me a pop-up asking, do you want to go pro for whatever reason? And then I saw the cheapest version was $100 a month. And I was thinking, Jesus Christ, these are like not affordable anymore. It's going to get to a point where they're going to be asking $1,000 a month if we want to even use it for its most basic need. And I've never seen that.
Is the cheap option. Like when you're out of your subscription tokens, then it gets really expensive if you have to go through the API. And for Fable, that's the plan. You can use it through your subscription right now until July 7th. And then it'll be API only. I feel like I saw a lot of people who are just trying to squeeze as much out of this thing they can right now while it's cheap. I used up my credits, and I'm thinking about getting from a $20 up to a $100 plan, because then I could use it for 2 more days. I want to hope that 2 more weeks and then Google comes around with the next model that is up to par. If you have the money, go play with Fable, create cool things. But if you don't, you might be interested in what else is there. This, I think, is for one-person creators not really that interesting, but it's an interesting approach. It's a model that pretty much only does routing. So the whole thing is you give it a task and it knows which submodel is the best to call. So I think this overall approach will probably get bigger as not only us but also companies realize they can't go token maxing. They need to be conservative with their use in some form. It seems to do a pretty good job at what it does, but it's not all that interesting by itself, I guess. Google DeepMind are partnering with A24. If you have seen the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, A24 studio behind that. So them partnering with DeepMind, supposedly for stuff like video generation, is, in my book, a good thing. It means DeepMind will get feedback from people who actually use the stuff to do actual creative work and who have a high quality standard. And it means that an established, respected studio goes for these tools and kind of acknowledges that there might be something there for actual filmmaking.
People were obviously upset that A24 is doing a partnership with AI. A25, where we don't use AI. Filmmakers do it without having to use AI because A24 is now poisoned by being oriented. It's just crazy how that other perspective always looks at things like negatively from these partnerships.
Currently, you can't do anything with AI without alerting a bunch of haters. A bunch of other stuff coming out of Google, NanoBanana 2, Lite and Gemini Omni Flash, so smaller versions of things that already exist. Probably faster and cheaper. I recently tried out Omni, was pretty impressed. It's got no taste, but it makes pretty convincing graphics. So, yeah, I tried to make a music video and it always looked like an ad, if you catch my drift. Yeah, this is just leaks and rumors, so I don't know about this stuff, but apparently Gemini 3.5 Pro they had planned to release it earlier. Now it's planned for July 17th, but apparently they rolled back the training a bit or entirely started from pre-training. I think what happened is they saw Fable and GPT-5 realized that if they release it as they had originally planned, no one will care because it's just not as good. So they had to rethink their thing and push it out a few weeks. I hope that'll be worth it because they usually aren't as expensive. This thing, continuing the story of stuff that's built on top of Google Maps, it's obvious that someone had to do this soon-ish. It lets you draw a rectangle on Google Maps, exports up to 30 square kilometers of terrain as what you want, GLB data. This is something that I would have wanted to build sooner or later because it became clear that it's quite possible now. Recently someone asked about the built-in Unity editor AI tools, and I haven't used them enough to have a good informed opinion about how good they are, but what I did was build my own and it took an hour, and those do everything I need. Another way to approach that is just tell your AI to do it. If you got a good model, they're smart enough now. You don't need to pay Unity $10 a month to use their MCP. And that's my bag of news.